Jamie went and saw Snow White. I did. Instead fought with a washing machine all afternoon while her and our daughter went to go see a movie.
Yes, you did.
So this will be Jamie talking about this. Is going to be spoiler free.
Yes.
And just your general thoughts. So you take it away, however you want to take this.
Okay, so, there's been a lot of thoughts and I don't want to say controversy around this movie, but it's true.
There has been controversy around this movie.
So it's kind of had a lot going against it to begin with. Having seen this movie, having seen what was done with it, the direction they decided to take it, I don't think they should have done it. Because now we're seeing these low box office receipts come in, and it is very, very evident they're going to lose money.
Yeah, this is it's not the lowest performing opening weekend. Right. The only one below it was the newest Mufasa's opening weekend.
Okay.
Other than that, it's...
Oh, I thought it was Dumbo.
Dumbo was a Disney Plus thing, wasn't it?
No.
Okay. Well, at least the list I saw, it was down toward the bottom. Either way, it was like $45 million domestically is what it brought in.
So right there, maybe this was not a great idea to make this movie. I have my thoughts about live action remakes anyway, but it's hard to go up against a original classic while also trying to modernize it. And they just shouldn't have tried, to be honest, because they made a movie that changed so much, added so much that it really didn't capture the essence of Snow White, in my opinion, as much as it could. Again, this is fully all my opinion.
Well,
so
I think
come at me if you don't agree, but that is what I'm thinking.
Well, I think undoubtedly looking at this movie, you have the movie itself, whatever quality. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to the movie. But then you have everything else around it, the comments and all that stuff that's surrounding it that, I think have definitely, I guess you could just say, muddied the waters in terms of the way in which this movie was going to perform and how people perceived it going in. But I agree. I mean, I'm not a fan of live action remakes by any means. I would like to see this come to an end at some point of all these. But yeah, so okay, what are some other things, what are some things that you did like about it?
Okay, so I thought the music was really good. So the same musical team that did The Greatest Showman and Dear Evan Hansen, which I don't know, that isn't as popular, but The Greatest Showman was very popular. Binge Pasek, I think, and Justin Paul, they were all the new songs for the movie. And I can't remember how many there were, but there were only 2 original songs from the 1937 version. The Whistle While You Work and Hi Ho songs were in there. Everything else was new. And there's a new song called Princess Problems, which is really funny. And then Waiting on a Wish, which is actually a really pretty song. So the music was really good. Like the music. Thumbs up.
Okay.
Visually, I thought it was very beautiful. It kind of looked whimsical, lots of color, and kind of looked like there was like a soft filter on it to make it look very like fairy tale like, which I was like, okay, I'm into this. And like at the beginning, and I won't tell you why or anything, but beginning there's a lot of color, there's a lot of vibrance to the picture, and then a little bit into it we see all the color kind of drained out in certain scenes, and I was like, okay, they're doing a lot with the visuals, so I really like that. I thought Rachel Zegler played this version of Snow White very well. She's got a beautiful voice, and she's petite, like Snow White's supposed to be petite and everything. She did a great job. Like, I thought she was one of the strengths of the movie, to be honest. And the 7 Dwarfs were pretty funny. They kind of acted similar to how they are in the original, a little bit more. I feel like they talked a little bit more in this one than the original one, which makes sense because there's more talking in general. But they provided a lot of the humor of the movie, I will say. So okay. I thought the 7 Dwarfs were great. Let's go to cons.
Turns out, okay, what are the things you didn't like about it?
They changed her as a character. So when you think of Snow White, this is not the same Snow White.
Right.
So that's a pretty big deal.
A little issue. Because,
they didn't change any of the other titular characters of the live action remakes. They were all the same. Snow White is different. And I'm not going to say how because I don't want to spoil it. But again, she's just different. The CGI of the Seven Dwarfs was odd. It was weird.
I mean, from the previews, it looked weird looking.
It was like the Uncanny Valley feeling where you're just like, something just looks off. And I don't know if they just had a hard time doing the CGI with them.
Well, it was last minute.
I know. I mean, like, I know they had to go in and redo it and everything. And there were some parts of the CGI where I was like, okay, that could have been a little bit better. But again, it just felt a little off. But they were still the funniest part of the movie. I was like, I felt zero chemistry between Snow White and the person that was the male lead. I don't know if I'm alone on that. I don't know if anybody else felt that, but I didn't feel any real chemistry.
Well, and this one isn't it's not even really a story about finding true love.
Yes, in the synopsis for the movie, they do tell you that that's not part of it. So that's not a focus of the movie.
A little bit of a change.
Right.
Maybe that's a little bit to the chemistry there. They're like, we need you to act like you hate each other. Because true love is not happening here.
That's not it. There was a character choice they made for one of the Seven Dwarfs that I hated. I'm not going to say what it is, but if you've seen the movie, you may know what I'm talking about. It irked me quite a bit. And it felt a little choppy. Like, you could tell they did reshoots. You could tell that they made some changes. Like, maybe a scene was going to go a certain way and then they kind of had to like do a different way. I don't know exactly, but it just felt a little choppy in certain places. And then, unfortunately, when you have bad casting for a role, it can really affect the movie. And I'm going to butcher her last name, but Gal Gadot. I don't know how
Pretty
you
sure
say
it's
it.
Gal Gadot.
Okay. She was the wrong choice for the Evil Queen. I mean, she's very beautiful and she presents herself like really, really well, maybe as the queen. But this like required more of a theatrical performance and she just doesn't have the chops for it. So
I mean, she's not.
I just didn't think she was right for it.
She's not a great actress. Even in like Fast and Furious movies, where you could argue acting is like fourth or fifth on the like what we need for this movie. Even in those, when she was in it, stuck out of like just not great. Even Wonder Woman, there was a compilation of like some of her Wonder Woman scenes, and you're just oh man, like it. Yeah. I mean, like you said, she's very pretty, but
she's very beautiful.
I never thought she was an amazing actress. I guess I'll put it that way.
So I just think this role just really needed a stronger, more someone that has experience in theater that could just kind of be over the top, because this evil queen, evil stepmother, all these like villains are very over the top.
Right.
And she just, I didn't get that from her. So
yeah, I mean, from the critic reviews I've seen, they all have similar notes about her not being very good in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could go to whatever is around this movie, some of the comments and things and everything that's gone around it.
Yeah.
I've always felt this movie was going to have to be really good to overcome it. So what you're saying is essentially this movie is just not good enough in general to even, even if you didn't have the controversy, it's still just not a good movie.
It's not like it's terrible.
Right.
But it's not great.
Right.
It's not amazing. It's just very middle. It's mid.
Yeah.
I don't want to like say that it is terrible, because it's really not. And I know I had a lot of pros and a lot of cons and try to even those out a little bit, but I'm glad I saw it, but I don't think I would see it again in the theaters, especially. If you haven't seen it yet, if you want to support Disney and buy the ticket and go see the movie in the theater, do it. If you don't want to waste the money, I would say wait for it to get on Disney Plus.
I have a feeling if this movie has a bad second weekend, it may not be in the theaters much more than a month.
Yeah,
I think they'll pull it pretty quick if it falls off more.
And to their credit, I mean, it's difficult to take an original animation movie that kind of set the stage for the growth of the Disney company in general. It's hard to appease everybody with what you do with it, because if they remade a movie that was exactly like the original, okay, it's going to be kind of odd, because it's like, well, we're in modern times, let's modernize it a little bit. But how they did it and how it ended up being, I don't know. It was not really. It's not really a hit, not really a miss. Just kind of just mid.
Well, I mean, I would argue. I mean, again, I haven't seen the movie, but I would just say this is one reason why I think I don't like live action remakes, because Snow White has so much importance to Disney as a company, because literally if it wasn't for the Snow White movie, I mean, Walt Disney's entire trajectory would have been much different.
Yeah.
He basically banked everything on this movie, and you'd have to treat it with such a reverence in a certain way, and I feel like just changing elements of that, you'd be better off just to not remake it. That
was my point too.
And I think that's just what it comes to the remakes
Yeah.
is obviously it's just, I mean, on some level, they're just cash grabs. They're playing on nostalgia and things.
We're not twisting their arm for this remake.
Right.
I don't think anybody was.
It's like Disney's on a mission, like, we have to remake every single enemy. And they're like, you guys don't have to. And they're like, no, we have to. But this is one reason why, like, there's just, and if you're going to do live action remakes, you don't have to do every single one of them.
Yeah.
And I think this one may have been one where you should have just been like, we're not going to do this, just because it's been redone a lot anyways. I mean, again, it's a fairy tale that Walt Disney took and Disney-fied it. So there's already a lot of Snow White stories out there.
Well, there's Snow White and the Huntsman that came out in like 10 or 11 years ago.
Which performed better than this one.
That one wasn't terrible. Again, hated the choice for who played Snow White, which is Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And the focus wasn't super on her. They just kind of took it a different direction. There's Mirror Mirror, which was Lily Collins and Julia Roberts, I think. It was more campy, a little more over the top. And there's just been iterations here and there.
And there's been shows and
it's a little different. But speaking of remakes and remaking everything, let's talk about what's coming up in the remake department.
Yeah, well, obviously, I don't think Disney's going to slow down anytime soon on remakes. So 2025, I mean, they had a great 2024. They had $3 billion movies. Captain America, Brave New World, I think, just now crossed 400 million. I think.
Okay.
So that movie didn't do great. This one's not going to do great. This one will lose more than likely hundreds of millions of dollars. It's going to lose a lot of money for Disney.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
But the bright spot they do have is the Lilo and Stitch live action coming out in May.
Yeah.
So that one, I think if that's a good movie, that very well could be $1 billion movie.
That one has a lot. That shows a lot of promise. There's a lot of excitement around that movie for sure.
Yeah. And then unfortunately, we also have Moana live action, July 2026. Hunchback of Notre Dame, however you want to say that, and Bambi are in early development. And there are also confirmed The Aristocrats, Hercules, Cruella 2, Tangled, Don't Touch Tangled, and Robin Hood.
So a lot.
I want to get past this live. I've never been, if you listen to the show for any period, like for a few years, I've never been a fan of live action remakes.
Same.
I think you just come up with better like original ideas and like Tangled, to me, having watched a lot with when our kids, our daughter was real little, I still contend that is one of the best princess movies they've ever made.
Yeah.
And I just like there's no way you're going to do that movie justice. To me, now maybe they'll pull it off, but for the most part, I look at all these and most of them they're better in their cartoon original form.
Yeah.
It's
hard to take it the original and make it better when it was so loved,
Yeah, it also helps when someone in the movie actually seems like they like the movie that they're remaking. That also typically helps, but maybe that's something they can focus on going forward. But
yeah, I have a lot of remakes in the works, and like as far as like how this movie does, I don't know if it'll influence anything that they do going forward. I don't know if they'll cancel some of these that have been confirmed or rumored. I don't know.
Oh, I think this will.
It'll influence it.
There's no way that this does not have an impact on decision making going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie cost. It's hard to know for sure. With reshoots, probably close to $300 million.
Yeah.
At least easily in the $200 million mark. So
I think they said 270.
Yeah.
Or something.
And sometimes they don't count reshoots in that budget when they announce it.
And so it doesn't count for marketing either.
It doesn't count for marketing. So if you throw marketing in there, even if the budget's 270, you're talking probably at the very least mid 300 million.
Yeah.
Altogether. So to break even on this, it had to make anywhere from $500 to $600 million, which is just not going to do. So it's going to lose a lot of money. I don't know. They've had some good ones that last year, but this is a movie they put off for years. I think they would have been better off just releasing it back in 2023 than they originally plan to take your lumps and move on, because I think everything else around it, this movie is more than likely, unless it was amazing, was going to have not the greatest performance at the box office. But I don't know. I mean, you hope that they learn from it and then they stick to the source material more. Lilo and Stitch will probably be a pretty good test. The trailer looked good.
Yeah.
So if they're able to pull that one off, maybe then that sets a new standard for them. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised at the performance of it so far.
Yeah. I mean, this is just obviously, again, I'm going to keep reiterating. This is just my thoughts.
How dare you have your own opinions? If they don't line up with
thoughts.
mine, I'm going to write you an angry email.
Yeah.
Or text message.
Just
What did our daughter think about it?
She said it was okay. She wasn't like over the top excited about it. She thought it had some cute parts. It wasn't like I said, when they said it's like funny, like the Seven Dwarfs were funny and everything, the whole movie didn't really see a lot of that like humor.
It seemed like a very serious
It was
tone.
more serious than some of the other remakes, I think. But
did you say she liked the original better?
she didn't say she liked it better.
Okay.
She just said that we had watched it the night before and she was watching this one, and I think she liked both, but like not a ton, like not a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, an old movie like that,
it.
I've always been like,
yeah, the old movies, she's just like, why do they do it this way? Because like the original, like the movie just like starts.
yeah,
You see her, you see like there's no backstory at all. This one fills in like 20 minutes of backstory that was not present in the first one, in the original. So there's a lot to learn and a lot to alter throughout the movie. Again, it is what it is. It's out, can't change it, whatever. But it just took a lot of liberties with making Snow White a different person. Not completely, but a little bit.
so they changed the core character pretty much.
I mean, she still exudes of the virtues that make her Snow White. Like she's still kind, and she's still, she's kind.
You are painting a picture here.
She's kind, and she is brave. But there's
Is there no like the prince wakes her up with a kiss? There's none of that.
I'm not going to say either way. I'm not going to say
I'm going to
either way on
assume
this.
no from what I've heard, but
Well, I'm not going to say either way because I'm no spoilers. But yeah, just a lot of changes. Just a lot of changes.
okay. Well,
Okay.
so what would your grade be on a scale like out of 10 stars? What would you give it?
5.
5 out of 10. Okay.
I would give it a 5.
Okay.
Yep. My favorite live action, just if you're curious, my favorite Disney princess live action was Cinderella.
I still think that's the best one they've done, which is the first one they've done.
Now that wasn't everybody's favorite,
I think,
but it was mine.
I think that one is the ones that I've seen. I think
that was the
best
first
one.
princess one, right?
I'm pretty sure it's the first live action remake that Disney actually did.
Wasn't there one? There might have been one right before it. I think Jungle Book before that one. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
I don't know the timeline.
I know Cinderella was the first.
It was one of the first ones.
Well, Maleficent's in there, which was a completely different kind of thing.
Right.
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. They did a Mulan movie, but that came out during COVID, so it didn't really do that well. I don't think they'll redo Pocahontas. I don't see that happening.
Probably not.
And then I'm sure we'll see a Frozen live action.
Ugh.
You know it. It's
I know.
It's
I mean, the fact that we're seeing a Moana when Moana is not even that old.
like we literally had a Moana 2 come out this past year, and then next year we're gonna have a live action. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, and I talked about this on the live stream, I really wish Disney would get back to like how they, I mean, I think a lot of movies have obviously changed, but if you think about like what Disney kind of was and like when we were growing up, were a lot of these like simple, family friendly, kind of funny movies that were just, they're not comical, like National Treasure or Flubber, like stuff like that was just fun. Mm-hmm. And they were cheap to make. But I think with streaming, you would expect those things now to be on streaming and not in movie theaters. And so everything, either like this big ticket, like big tent pole movie, like Marvels and all this stuff like that. And then everything else, like they don't know where to put it. Like you don't see romantic comedies anymore. You don't see
Oh,
comedies.
those go straight to Netflix.
Right. You don't see comedies anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like if they got back to just that form, like I still think there's a space for those types of movies if they're just like good, lighthearted, like like The Rookie, like these feel good movies they used to do, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. To me, but maybe it belongs on streaming. But it's so different now than it was even 10 years ago. That I don't know if they know exactly what they want to do going forward. But I guess we'll find out. But live action remakes are not going anywhere anytime soon. It sounds like.
Nope.
So. But all right. Well, Jamie gives it 5 out of 10. I don't have a score because I didn't see it. So
okay.
At some point when I see it, I'll probably talk about it. I have a feeling I would like it less than you.
Maybe. I mean, it's not your thing. You don't really like princess movies anyway, so.
Unless they're really good.
Okay.
Like Tangled.
Well, all right.
Great movie.
That's your movie.
Great movie. I still have beefs with The King. How you let a witch just jump off your balcony with your baby. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Anyways.